I'd just like you to introduce yourself and sort of say who you are and what you do here at Bolton Citizens Advice Bureau.
Okay, hi, my name is Richard Wilkinson and I'm the Chief Officer at Bolton CAB, so basically my job is trying to run the organisation.
How do we work here at Bolton CAB?
Currently we deliver advice services through what we term as activity centres. We've actually got a total of 4 activity centres. They include a social welfare drop-in, which is the type of thing that people traditionally associate with the CAB, which is people come and actually see us to receive advice there and then on the day. We also operate a small call centre. Increasing numbers of people are wanting to access us by telephone. And in addition to that, we have several outreach locations, both across the Bolton area and beyond. We think we've got a total of about 20 unique locations where we deliver advice in what we call an outreach setting, and that ranges from things like community centres or other establishments where people are accessing other services for another reason. We think that we do about 90 or so sessions a month, and that gives that client access of about 230 or so hours per month for those who want to seek advice in their locality and communities.
Cool. Has there been an increase in demand recently, and what's the cause of this?
Yes, there have. If you have a look at the statistics across here, what you can see is the total amount of demand. A number of interesting features have happened. If you look at these months here, which are late summer 2013, and compare those numbers to the people accessing us in the same period in 2012, you'll see a distinct increase in the numbers of people trying to access advice services, probably approximately 20 to 25% when you're comparing the similar times of year. The 2 main ways that people still contact us are via the social welfare drop-in that we just spoke about, but also more increasingly popular is on the telephone. So you can see from this chart over here that the numbers, the blue line indicates the numbers accessing Bolton CAB by telephone, and you can see the numbers increasing since September 2011 fairly steadily over the last 2 years. There's been a slight fall off in the people accessing us through our social welfare drop-in service, and it appears that there's people who actually prefer to contact us by phone. And I mean, one of the things that we've been doing is improving our infrastructure and our telephone handling capability to enable more clients who want to access us in that way. But overall, as you see from this chart, overall the numbers are significantly up from the comparable period last year. In terms of why this is happening, there's a number of reasons. There is obviously, we've at the end of a period of recession, which has meant that people have been put out of jobs and finding difficulty to get back into work, and have found themselves falling into debt and then having problems with their welfare benefits. And as successive governments, and most recently this government, has introduced a package of welfare reforms, which in terms of the residents of Bolton, there's been quite a significant impact in their ability to make ends meet. So in terms of the demand has increased, and that's some of the reasons why. Unfortunately, the other thing that's changed as well is that the amount of funding available for the type of work that's being done at a place like Bolton CAB has quite significantly reduced. So, for example, in the last financial year, we had a contract with the Legal Aid Agency, and that enabled clients to get an additional 4,000 acts of advice and assistance and deep and in-depth casework. That's now been reduced quite significantly by a number of critical areas now not falling under the scheme, and the contract, for example, with the Legal Aid Agency is now down to about 300 or 400 people per year, as opposed to 4,000 that it was previously. So we've had almost like a double impact of increased demand with much less resources to enable us to meet that demand.
Okay, and how are we sort of moving forward and adapting to meet that demand?
Well, we're doing several things to try and reduce the impact of the culmination of welfare reform and the recession. So as we've already looked at, the numbers increasing numbers of people accessing us by the telephone has increased quite significantly, and we've put the infrastructure in place to try and enable us to actually handle that. We're also trying to look at a lot of technological solutions to enable clients to actually access advice much quicker and much earlier, in a way that's far more cost effective than some of the traditional services. Of course, not all clients can access services in that way, and people who have language difficulties or literacy difficulties often still prefer to actually come and see us in our drop-in centre. We're also doing a lot of work on our technological infrastructure to make our processes better and make the workflow happen more effectively. And we're also looking in the future to the option of being able to clients to access face-to-face advice via sort of video conferencing type facilities, things like Skype, but systems that are actually more tailor-made for the type of work that we do. So we're doing a range of things to try and ameliorate the twin problem of the increased demand against and less funding.
Thank you very much, Richard. Cheers.